Hey, it's W5HRO. If you have not watched the part 60 video, the part 60 video that I posted last night, I encourage you to do so before watching this one. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm posting this one here at Sunday. It's the day after I posted that one. I posted that one last night, so some people might think I'm going to watch the latest video, and they won't bother to watch the one before, thinking it's old or something. So, come on, Max. What's the whining for? I guess he wants outside or something. But anyway, if you watch that video, I went through here on the bench what I was doing to it and what I was tying up all the loose ends. And then I took it in there, and the rest of the video at the end of it's me testing the transmitter. So, and it was definitely the 1625. And I determined one of two things is happening. Either I was getting RF in the control grid of this 1625 and it was making this thing start to turn on or something. Or when this thing, like when you're modulating and it's going down the negative, maybe it's going down too far on the 1625 tube. Maybe my voltage divider, where is it my voltage divider? Here, right here, these two here. Maybe that it's a little bit too hot here and it's just coming down too far negative. And it's going down below ground for where this tube is at. That's the other thing. So it's one of those two things is more likely happening. I mean, that's pretty much what it would have to be, one or the other. And I pretty much, I think, ruled out everything else. So I have a solution. Why I didn't think to put RF bypassing here on this control grid. I'll just put like one of those .001s, these high V ones that I bought here that I put on my AC line. I'll just put one of those on there. And then I'll put a 3 amp diode here. I have some of those 1,000 volt 3 amp diodes. And I'll just put a couple of them in series to make sure I have enough headroom, and just put two in series. That way, even though the diode's forward biased on, it will not pass negative AC going through it. That's the beauty of doing it. Even though it's forward biased, it'll pass positive AC, but not negative AC. I don't think it could be the positive AC on this tube turning the thing on, unless the voltage is dropped. Well, I think if I do this and I do this, I'm probably good to go. The only other thing is both the 1625s I had in there were damaged. So do I need to add maybe a little bit of series resistance here, maybe to kind of help protect the tube? What I need to do is before I do this, when I bring the RF deck back out here again, which is going to be later tonight, I'm going to have it upside down again. I'm going to measure. I've got like 3 or 4 resistors, like 50 watt resistors parallel, and they're either 40 or 50 watt resistors, if I'm not mistaken. So I need to put a ohm meter across it. I need to see what I've forgotten. I think it's like 27K, or it could be 37K. I don't know what it is. 47. I think it's 27K plus or minus, but it could be 30 something. So I need to figure out what that is and calculate when this thing shorts, with this voltage, how much, is it, what's the current? It's probably too high for the tube, but I think what might be happening is on my fuse panel on the bottom of my transmitter, I think that 15 amp fuse is probably too big. It's probably short. It's probably having to stay shorted too long before that fuse blows. And my solution is going to be I'm just going to lighten up the fuse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie those two fuses together on that panel that I told you about in one of my previous videos, to where I parallel up those two fuse holders. So when they go, so both of them will have to go out. It won't be just one of them goes out. If, say, I have 2 5 amp fuses in there and one of them goes out, well, the other one's going to go out too, for sure. And one of them's not going to hold up, because if one of them held up, but I'm going to make it to where they're going to be connected to both primaries. They're going to be just parallel directly to it. So it's going to go out regardless. So if this shorts this line here, it's going to pop that fuse, which is going to pop it for both lines. It won't matter. So, but both primaries, I mean. So that's the other thing I'm going to do too. And I think I just need to start out with some really small fuses. Start with like maybe 3 amp fuses. Load the RF deck up, see if it pops it when I'm loading up to full power, or just drop the current down on the fuse low enough to where it does pop it, and just start incrementing it up till it stops popping it. Then I turn the AF gain up on the speech amp deck and get the modulator putting its power to it, and then just keep, when it pops it, just go to a bigger fuse. When it pops it, go to a bigger fuse, and just find a spot where I can go just a little bit above that, to where this thing, if this thing shorts, it'll pop it fast. So I think that might be okay. If not, I'll put a series resistor in here, but I want to calculate what the currents, I need to see how much current this tube can handle and see, because it should be fine, because they did the same thing in the T368 transmitter. It's the same tube, not a 1625, but it's the military grade 807, and this is the same tube as the 807. The only difference is it has a 12.6 volt filament compared to the 6.3 the 807 and the other tube does. So all three are the exact same tube, same specifications. As a matter of fact, I think this one's a little heftier than the 807 is on one spec. Everything else is identical. So I guess that's all for now. I just kind of wanted to do this video on the circuit and what I plan on doing to try to rectify the problem, and I'm sure it'll solve it. And if not, then I'll just, like I said, if this thing shorts again and it pops the fuse too and it damages the tube, I'll just add series resistance till it stops doing it, That'll be the solution. So like I said, if you haven't watched my video, my part 60 from last night, because this is going to be part 61, this is, like I said, this is just to show you that to verify that it was what it was. If you watch the other video, you already know that I verified that this is what it was. So anyway. So that's all for now, 73s. This is W5HRO.